doing. Let's see. Let's see how it's going. Yeah. There we go. That looks like that's working. Yeah, not too much of a delay either. Cool. What's up, everybody? I am getting started here. We're gonna do a super modded playthrough of Skyrim here. We're not getting started with that today. Today we're just gonna be working on my mod list, working on my load order, working on fixing, troubleshooting, that sort of stuff. I've got pretty much everything installed at this point. You can see there's a lot here, but there's a lot of messiness still. There's going to need to be some work that I do in Test 5 Edit. There's going to need to be some work that I do on my scripts, and I'll do that in Sublime Text 3, and then compile that stuff. I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of other stuff too. I've already got a few known issues here, some quest start conditions that need some work. There's one particular crime mod that needs a little bit of work. Then there's some visual issues that I'm having that I'm going to need to work on. So there's still quite a bit of work to do to get this done. I started, you can see I started by installing Ultimate Skyrim. That's what most of these mods are. You can see those got installed on the 2nd of April. And things have been kind of continuously getting installed and worked on since then. So here we are a month and a half later, and we're still not totally done. I did get a little bit of playing in there. I've been kind of on and off. I've got work that I'm doing full-time too, obviously. So not just able to do this all the time, but I've spent many, many hours working on this already. And we've come a long way. So the basis of this pack was Ultimate Skyrim. I started there, as I say, Dylan Perry's Ultimate Skyrim. Started there, and then we've added in a bunch of additional stuff on top of that, and I've tagged it here in this notes column anytime I have something that isn't an Ultimate Skyrim. This isn't really needed at this point, but I've got a mod that I'm working on that needs the SkyUI SDK's software development kit. So I've got that still installed. That allows me to do certain things there. All sorts of things like this that are just sort of utilities changes. So better jumping is obvious what that does. Auto and equip ammo, it's going to take care of arrows, smaller cursor, no poison dialogues, whatever. TK hit stop, this is kind of a nice one of TK's mods that causes sort of like a recoil after you make contact with someone, which is pretty cool. This one's not activated. Interesting NPCs is in here, so there's a lot of stuff like that. These may end up going, I don't know. Guards Don't Know will probably stay. But these ones, I don't know, those might go. I'm using Nemesis right now for my animations. I've never used Nemesis before. Seems like it fixes some issues that Finis has for his new idols. I thought it was worth a shot, and there were a few animation mods that I put in here that I thought were cool that did actually require it and don't work with Finis. So I'm not sure. Some of my visual issues may actually be related to that, or related to some weirdness that I did with animations, but I'll just have to keep testing and see. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. So essentially I took what I did. I'm going to be a little careful there. This should be okay as long as I close immediately. Okay, cool. I took this mod pack, which is really an excellent mod pack, but unfortunately has been deprecated. It hasn't been updated in a long time. You can see here it says it's not been updated for nearly a year. They put that up like almost a year ago they put that notice up. So it's been like 2 years since they've actually updated this. So this mod pack unfortunately doesn't work as the instructions are, because everything's been updated. The old versions aren't around. All sorts of stuff. I mean, even Skyrim has been updated. SE has been updated with the whatever they call the paid mods that come out all the time. So this just doesn't work. But I have used this sort of as inspiration for a lot of the mods that I've put in, and you can kind of see it when jumping around in here. Better jumping, horns are forever. I mean, there's just lots of these things that have gone into my load order. A few player homes that I've added in, well, I actually replaced the regular Breeze Home TNF with the Eleonora's flavor version. Not a big difference, but I think this one looks a little nicer. Unfortunately, since we're in Oldrim, I can't use Eleonora's, in my opinion, better special edition version of Breeze Home that has some really cool features and stuff, but unfortunately backporting is not really possible. Vigilant, this is a big one that I've added in. So that's going to be fun to go through, kind of see what's going on there. I've never played through that one before. The Forgotten City, never played through before. Should be fun. Little quest. Darkened, it's another one. Kind of cool quest mod. Some additional mechanics and changes. So Chasing the Dragon is a Witcher style toxicity and addiction mod. So how this works is essentially when you're drinking potions, you're going to get toxicity, and you have a chance to get addicted to potions, and that's a pretty big deal. So it can get really bad if you drink too many potions. It can get really bad for you. So this is sort of a balancing out of alchemy in the drinking of potions sense. I do have one. I think this is the only one, in fact, that I have additional companions. Arissa. We'll see whether I actually use her. We'll kind of see how that goes. I don't tend to like playing with companions. I think they make the game a little too easy, and I think they're a little annoying, frankly, after a little while. But I've never tried actually playing with Arissa, so we'll see how that goes. I've added an Apocalypse, a little bit imbalanced maybe, but not too bad, and I've increased the costs using a custom patch. Winter Sun, currently working on making this actually properly compatible. We'll probably see that a little later tonight. The work that needs to be done there's a lot of scripts. There's a lot of scripts that conflict with the choices yours in particular. So actually, it's not that many. I think it's about 4 scripts, but it's a lot of work to fix any script issues. Requiem's already in Ultimate Skyrim. We've added in Sacrosanct, so that's a fun little add-on, just to make vampire gameplay a little more interesting. Of course, Undeath is already in there. Then you can see I've got a bunch of merged patches. I was way over the plugin limit. You can see I'm actually basically at, in fact, I think 1 or 2 of these aren't enabled yet. That one's not enabled. Should that be enabled? Exterior. I think that's a relic of when I was looking at a different. Why is that weird? Texture. Okay. So this is actually one that I did backport. You can backport some stuff. So this is, yeah, just, I think it's just meshes and maybe some textures. No, all meshes. So you can backport meshes. You just have to optimize them. I think that's through. One of these. Cathedral Assets. Yeah, I think it's Cathedral Assets Optimizer. You can optimize special edition myths backwards, but plugins, ESPs, forget it. You have to rebuild the whole plugin, and that's not really possible. I mean, it's possible, but talk about a lot of work for not a lot of gain. You're basically doing all the work of the mod author again, and nobody wants to do that. Let's be real, nobody wants to do that. That's way too much work. Okay, so moving on. We are going to enable that. You know, I'm just going to put it in my to-do because I'm going to have to, if I do that. Okay, that's in my to-do list now. Because if I do that now, I'm going to have to rerun the Dindulod patcher, and yikes, that's not going to be fun. Okay, so let's see where we were. Yeah, toxicity and addiction. Winter Sun, Sacrosanct, a bunch of patches that are merged over here. You can see them basically at the plugin limit. Soul Torn entities, because Ultimate Skyrim is using an older version of Requiem. Invisible entities are still invisible, which I've never liked. I thought that was a gimmick. And so, yeah, so I've changed that back. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Some additional stuff here merged. Let's see. This is all Ultimate Skyrim stuff. Map markers, some additional map markers. I'm not sure how necessary they are. This one is coming, but it requires... I've basically rewritten this mod significantly myself in order to make that work. Skyrim Reputation, I suspect this is going to have... Yeah, even just 2. Well, that's... File access. Those actually might be okay. Not be conflicts, not sure. Then from there, some more stuff, some marriage stuff, some immersion animations are all coming up here, I think. A bunch of NPC visuals here. That's actually what I'm working on right now. To make one particular LSF, Pandorables LSF, come in with the rest of these. I'm getting some issues with that. I got it working earlier, but then I broke it again. And then the big set of stuff is the visuals that I've installed, which are a ton of some HDT physics. Yes, a little bit of bounce. This is the most subtle one I've found. I've gone with, and then some animations. Lots of animations here. So some of these are really cool, and I hope are going to work the way that I want them to. The conditional idols dynamic animation replacer. So this is an awesome new mod. I think this is going to be really, really revolutionary, because this allows essentially various animations to be played depending on all sorts of different circumstances in the game, which is just really awesome. Really cool. I mean, it's really cool. So that's in there. And then just, I mean, it's literally, it's a couple hundred. Just texture and model mods. I mean, you can see we're up to 600 here. And here we're at 400. So, a lot of stuff there. I am going to endorse that cool aspect of Invo 2, being able to do that directly. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'm just going to load into game, and we're going to see if my most recent change has fixed my NPC visuals issue with LSF. Probably not, frankly. I think probably not, but we'll see. If not, I know a couple things to try. So this will take a hot minute to load in. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of the beast. And you've got this massive of a load order. So this is, I wouldn't recommend to anybody watching that you try to install a set of visuals like mine. I've gone pretty overboard. I've got a lot of 4K stuff in here. And I think if you're looking at that, and you have anything less than if you don't have a really good PC, it's probably going to be too much for your computer to handle. Let's see if this is... here we are. So here's my main menu replacer. I'm going to turn off my exterior audio. Let my Skyrim audio take over now that we're in game. I think this one's really pretty. I really like this layout. I've kind of combined different things to make this happen. So I've got a save here, which is just a test save. You can see I've replaced the loading screens here too. They're not vanilla vanilla Ultimate Skyrim. They're kind of their own thing. So here we go. Is it working okay? It's working okay. Cool. All right. I know we've got a lighting issue in here too, which we'll see in just a second once everything kind of loads in. Yep, there it goes. It's okay. We're just a little bit stuttery, probably because I'm streaming this. Not horrible, but a little bit. Yeah, no, she's still not looking right. Yeah, that's not it. That's not what we want her to look like, so that has not worked yet. Let's see if she's still got her issue going on. Strange noises and lights. We need someone to investigate. Doesn't look like it. Everything looks okay.
Your Eminence, my scrying is suggesting nothing in the area. Dragon Bridge is under.
Not bad.
This is likely.
It's looking okay. All right, we're gonna exit out. It's looking okay, but yeah, definitely something still up here as far as the visuals. So let's take a look first at my load order here. So pan LSF, getting overwritten only by that. So those should be okay. Let's check in test 5 edit real quick. I'm not going to load in everything because I don't need to. Well, actually, it doesn't take that long, since I've done it before. The first time you try to load up your Requiem for the Indifferent patch, it's going to take you a minute. Because, especially if you've added on top of Alt Sky, the way that I have, there's just so many references. This is such a big patch. But, no. NPC is okay. Here they are, fine. Yeah, getting overwritten. Let's see. That's this one, so that's fine. This has been merged into this patch, but I've had some issues since I've done that, so I'm trying to figure out what is causing those and see if I can get them resolved. this all looks totally fine. So I'm going to disable this this patch again. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm going to put these meshes back into this mesh backup folder. I don't think these are needed. Yeah, I mean, just from the date modified. I'm pretty sure these were from the original animations. But there are, I think it's, I forget where they are. No, yeah, these are all animations. Yeah, so that's not, I don't think any of these have anything to do with anything. I don't think those are having to do with my problem. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. What is going to be causing this? I'm curious. Could that even be doing it? It's possible. I would be a little surprised, though. Well, let's try it this way. Oops, not this one. Let's try that. See what happens. Take it a hot minute to load in again. Just the way that all goes. You've got a heavily modded Skyrim. And this is running off I mean, I've got a pretty insane computer setup here. I mean, even with an NVMe SSD, it just takes a while. It just takes a while to load up Skyrim. I think I should move that off to the right. Or to the left. Let's see. What's going on here? I'll try and fix that here in a second. Sorry about the cam going away. We'll fix that in a sec. Oh, and now it worked. So that was the problem. Interesting. Also interesting. Let's see what we can do here. Not that. Looks fine now. Cool. Let's pop back out. And let's fix that cam that's messed up for whatever reason. What's going on here? go away. Very strange. Seem to be having an issue here with this. Why did you go away? Okay, so it is working. It's just not... It's working. Showing. Okay, here it is. Now we're getting somewhere. Why did you move all the way to the back? There we go. Sorry about that. There we go. I shouldn't be having problems with that. But there we go. Okay. So, very curious. Yes, that would do it. Okay. That explains it. No problem. All fixed there. But we do have some curiosities elsewhere that we'll get back to. As far as... go. As far as visuals are concerned, there's still a couple oddities. I've got some strange glowing graphics. Could be a result of an animation issue or another conflict of some kind. So we'll go through that at some point here. But first things first, I'm going to get back to kind of where I was. I was actually working on this right before I went on stream. I've been working on this, as I say, for like a month and a half. I'm going to modify my audio mix here. That ought to do it for me. I don't think that should affect you guys. If the music's quiet, let me know. Alright, let's jump in to some work. So, I had just finished working on this script. Should be. Let's make sure that's true. So, here it is, yeah. QFDA02, whatever that one is. So this was fixing a conflict between two mods. Specifically, I believe it was The Choice Is Yours and Winter Sun that had an issue. So we're going to add a text document here just for letting me know what I did. And I'm going to name that QF DA02 004D8E6.text. So you can see as I go through and make each of these scripts, I'm just putting in a little text document here that's going to remind me what I did there. Let's go over here. So just as an example, one of my previous ones, this one, fixes a conflict between Ultimate Skyrim Dragon Spawn trigger on Soul Absorb. So when you first absorb a Dragon Soul, that triggers dragons to spawn randomly. I think that's as a result of Skyrim Unbound, but it's in the Ultimate Skyrim mod pack. And the new Dragon Soul Absorbs animation from Dragon Soul Absorb More Glorious, which is what that mod is. So this way, basically before, there were two scripts, one from each of these mods that were the same script name. So one would overwrite the other. So I could either have Dragon spawn after that first one, but have the vanilla Dragon Soul animation. Or I could have the modded Dragon Soul animation, but Skyrim Unbound never know that it needs to spawn random dragons. That's not going to work. So if I'm going to want to have both of those mods installed, I need to edit the scripts together to make that work. So in this case, this was between Winter Sun fixes Skyrim. The choice is yours. Conflict. It's good enough description for me. So the choice is yours allows you to delay quests. Winter Sun on certain quests will trigger you to have the option to change your faith, the deity that you're following, from one to another based on the stages that you're in the quest. So without a patch, again, you could either be able to change religions at certain points in the quest, or you'd be able to delay the quest, but not both. So this fixes that for one of the scripts. There should be a few more. The way that I'm finding that is super simple. Right here, Mod Organizer 2 is amazing. It's got this plus minus symbol. If I click here, you can see this one's being overwritten by all these different things. And so I click on here, and it lists, I double click on that, and it's going to list all the different incompatibilities. And I don't care about like 99% of these. I don't care about anything that it's overwriting right now. So that's this whole window. So go away, don't care. And then this one is ones that are overwriting it. And this is the final one overwriting it. So if this one's overwriting multiple times, which it is, the choice is yours is overwriting this, and then I've compiled something that will overwrite it, which is what I want to actually overwrite it. So I care about the PEX ones, and not really the, these are the source files for the PEC, these are the actual scripts, these are the source files for the scripts. I don't really care about these, except to the effect that like every one of these is going to have one of these. So 4D, 8D6, 4D, 8D6, yeah, so each one of these goes one-to-one to each other, like that. And you can see I've redone this one. This one, my source is actually in a separate folder from the compiler output, so that's not getting overwritten, but that it doesn't matter. The source doesn't have to be the same. And I don't care here about these DDS. Those are just textures. I don't care about this. That's just a mesh. And all of these, this plus additional merge. This is a merged set of mods, which are patches. Actually, let me double check that. So just go here. Here it is. Priority 234. So jump there. 234. Here it is. It's not true. So it will have to look at those. But for right now, where am I? That's sacrosanct. Winter Sun. For right now, we're going to jump into some work on these ones here. We'll look at those in a minute, but I've been working on the choice is yours. I'm going to stick with that. So we're going to go to this one. So in order to do this, what I want is I want to put them up into here. This is D03 whatever. I think I've got pulled up D05. don't think I actually made any changes yet, so we'll pick the right one. Okay, so we're going to go here, we're going to click here, we're going to click Open in Explorer. It's going to pop us straight to the compiled script, but that's not what I want right now because I'd have to decompile that, and that's a mess. So I want to find DA03 blah blah blah. And I can do that just by looking right here. You can see it here. I'm going to go DA03. That's QFDA 03 001 BFC4. This is the one, so I'm going to click and open this. And here it is in my Sublime text editor, which is where I'm going to be editing the script. You can see it highlights things, makes it a little bit easier to see what's going on. So let's pop over to the other version. So we're going to pop back over to Model Organizer. Here this one is. I found that one. We're going to actually, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to The Choice is Yours. I had this folder already open. So I'm once again going to locate that same one where the source folder, QFDA 030001 BFC4.psc. That's hex PSC. This is the source. So this is the right one. BFC. I'm going to double click. You can see these two are the same ones. Because the capitalization are different, this doesn't have any problem with it. Even if they were the same, it would just tell me the root folder up there in that file name, which is nice anyway. Okay, so this one's loading second, so this is the one I'm going to modify. What I'm going to do is I'm going to File, Save As, and I'm going to take this script and I'm going to move it over into my Vanilla Scripts folder, which is what I'm calling it, but that's not really what it is. Vanilla Scripts for Compiler. So this is essentially the folder in which I'm putting all of my source scripts. Save this in here. There's a vanilla one in here, so I'm just going to replace it. That's fine. So this way, I've got, this is in a folder down here, Vanilla Scripts for Compiler. Now, you do not want to enable this. It's going to break all sorts of things if I enable that. But this, well, not really, because they're just source scripts, but it's going to override all sorts of things even then. In order for this to be able to compile correctly, it needs to have access to all of the source scripts that are related to this script that this calls in any way. So in order for it to have access to those, I've extracted out I don't know where that folder went. I guess I closed it. All of the vanilla scripts, including base Skyrim, Update, Dawnguard, Dragonborn, Hearthfires, all of that. All of that's extracted into that folder, all from the BSAs, right in there. And now my compiler has access to that and will properly compile stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure that everything that's present here in this left script is going to be present in this right script somewhere. Now for this sort of mod conflict, I should be able to just copy them over and not have any issues. So I'm just going to go through one by one. They're out of order, which makes it annoying, but I'm going to make sure that every single entry here has an entry over here. Okay, so I'm going to click over here. I'm going to click Control F. Down here at the bottom, I've got my search. You can see I've been doing this before. So right here, I'm just going to look for this first thing up here on the left. That's this right here, so it happens to be the first one, so I don't need to search for it. Second one is whatever this is, so I'm going to say alias underscore Mars shame marker. Okay, got that. And not map marker, got that. All good. Next up is going to be alias rueful axe enabler, and you can see that's shown up. DA03 Barbus marker. Oops, marker. And this has jumped way down farther than we want, so we're going to put a spacebar, and yep, that's the right one. Next one up. And there's just going to be a ton of these. I think I already saw that this was in there. Yeah, there it is. And I already saw the next one for sure. So we're going to go to our Barbus move to spot space. There it is. Perfect. That one's there. Rock burrow marker. Yep. Barbus. There it is. Rueful axe. You have to see it right there. Rhyme rock burrow map. Helps if I can type right. Rhyme rock burrow map. Yep, there we are. Clavicus vial with Barbus. I can't type. Press, not island. Oh my gosh, I'm horrible at this right now. With bar plus space, there it is. Okay, let's go down. Alias wizard leader. So wizard leader. Yeah, there he is. Almost done. Hey Mars. Shame. Quick exit. Yep, there it is. Perfect. So now I'm just going to go through and compare. So that's it for properties. There may be some over here that aren't over there that I didn't go through. Could be. It doesn't really matter, because if this is adding additional properties, that's not a problem. Everything that was over here will still work. And those are probably needed for something that's been added by this mod. So now I'm just going to go through each of these fragments and make sure that all the same fragments exist in both, and that those functions are the same across both. Fragment 30. Here it is. And here it is. And you can see that actually doesn't do anything directly. Both present. 38. Looks good. Those are identical. 21. Yep. Those are all good. 35. Looks good. 6. 39. And at some point in one of these, I am going to come across, I know for sure, I'm going to come across some incompatibility where what one of these does is not the same as what the other does. And I'll show you kind of how we resolve that when we get there. Looks good there. Fine. 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 Cool. Just got an extra space. That doesn't do anything. That's fine. It kind of threw me for a loop, though. My brain wasn't quite processing that for a second. I was like, wait, something's different. And again, we have another space. And yes, that's fine. Oops. 19. And so just correcting this won't actually solve the problem completely. You also have to make a fix in test 5 edit. I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. But that's actually, well, in my opinion, that's easier to do. This looks, no, it's the same. In my opinion, that's easier to do, just because, yeah, this is different for sure. 28, Barbara set his piece. This one has that disabled and has this instead. That looks like a modification that I want to keep from here and not from here. So this is what you essentially have to do. I think this is just vanilla behavior. I'd have to look at the original vanilla script to confirm that for sure, but I'm fairly confident about that. This looks very, very vanilla. There's nothing here that makes me think anyone's touched this. And this, you can see someone's commented this out, so this is not happening. And instead, we're just getting this. And that's something... So essentially, what this would do is this would show me an objective in my journal. So like this objective, whatever this is, would pop up, you know, in the notifications corner up here. And in my journal, I'd get whatever this notification is. I have no idea. I have no idea what that objective is, but some quest objective. And that's, you know, that's what vanilla does. And then over here, this is the choice is yours, is this mod. So the choice is yours likes to not have that happen. And just like this, what it's done instead is it's just added a map marker to my map. And now, me as the player, I can say, oh, that's interesting. I now see this new place that maybe there's something I can do there. So I get that instead of a specific objective. So you kind of just have to know, you have to be able to read this a little bit to be able to do this this way. If you're not able to, then you just have to have open a copy of the vanilla script on and then have like 3 screens open. So you'd have, your vanilla, and then mod 1, and then mod 2, and then you can compare across all 3, and then you know for sure, like, this is what was originally there, this is what this mod's doing, this is what that mod's doing, and then see how you can make all that work together. So this is good, basically, is the moral of that story, is I don't need to do anything here. Okay, yeah, so this is this is one of the lovely things about, I think it's an I. Yeah, it's an I, Scion, the mod author. He's so good about comments like this. He tells me that he's made an edit here. So I can immediately see the difference and say, all I have to do is take this and copy it, make a new line, and paste this over. And okay, so this is one of those moments where we get to talk about something slightly interesting. So you see this, it's highlighted in red here. And it says down here, error on line 228, that's this line. WSN Perrier quest is neither a type nor a variable to matches. So what is this? It doesn't know. So most likely, Perrier quest, that sounds like a script name. Most likely this is a script that I don't have in that folder. So we'll check that in just a second. But the other possibility is just that, yeah, here it is. Quest property, WSN Perrier quest. This is a Winter Sun variable. So why in the world would this have that? Answer, it wouldn't. And you can see it doesn't. Achievement, quest, summon FX, Barbus, move to marker, and that's the end. Otherwise, these are all the same. And these two right here, that are WSN, that's Winter Sun, they're not over here. So you need to add them. And now that I've added them, boom, you may have just seen it in this preview. That red line, it went away. That error, it went away. It now knows how to read this. So this is why, and because this is a quest, this is definitely something that if I didn't have that scripts folder I was talking about earlier, the scripts folder with all of my mod scripts copied into, and in fact, we'll do it here. In fact, you'll see in here, I think it's going to be right at the very end, or almost at the very end, I think. I know they're in here. I just don't know where they are. Maybe not. I don't know where they are. It's not worth me spending much time to find them. I copied over, in any event, the moral of the story is in this source folder, I copied over those Winter Sun source scripts into here, so that way I would have access to that information while working in the compiler to handle exactly this issue with this sort of quest that the compiler would have no idea what that is if I hadn't done that. Okay. Fragment 31 is what we're just looking at. Now it looks like we've added some additional fragments over here on the right that didn't exist over here. That's not a problem, because this is the one we're going to be using, and that shouldn't conflict in any way. So that should all be working just fine, with no issue. So here we are on fragment 31. That's going to be the same throughout the ending. So we're all done now. I'm going to compile this, and I've got it set up. Here's my Sublime proprietary settings. I've got it set up. You can see here, import. This is where it's importing all those scripts from. Scripts source. Vanilla scripts for her. So this is the info folder, mods, vanilla scripts for compiler, scripts source. So it's importing all of the scripts that I was just talking about earlier. And output. Here's where it's going to output it to. Mods, compiler, output, scripts. So this way, I'm putting that directly into a folder that MO will use. I'm not touching my vanilla folders at all in either place. This mod is always disabled because there's no reason to enable that. This is going to be really dirty mod with lots of overrides and things. So there's no reason to do that. Like I'm just copying and pasting scripts into this. It's just not going to be right. It's not going to have the same load order as the mod we're going organizer. It's just not going to be around at all. So that's why we're using a mod folder for that. This points to the Papyrus compiler, which comes with the creation kit. So I've got the creation kit installed to be able to get that. This points to the flags file. What exactly that is, I actually don't know that much about it, but essentially it's just another thing that it needs, right? It's just another requirement. Doesn't really matter, right? Just another thing there. So, okay, so that's sort of where we're at. We're ready to compile this. I think it's like Shift Control C or something to do it. I don't know. I just have it down to a macro key, so I'm just going to press M2. And there we go. It compiled successfully. It says compiling this, starting assembly, 0 errors, 0 warnings, assembly completed, compilation successful. Batch compiled, 1 file finished, 1 succeeded, 0 failed. So there it is. So we're going to go over here and just take a look at it, and here it is. Here's our new file. Just made it at 9:26 p.m. That's my time here locally. So great. We're going to make our new text document again, and we're going to name it that same thing. QF B03 000 1B C4. And we're going to pop into there, and we're just going to say resolves request conflict between times everything and person. Because that's what our what our edited script does. So we've done that one. Great, cool. So we're going to go back over to Mod Organizer, and in order for it to know that I've changed something, I'm just going to disable and re-enable that mod. It just did it right here. You can see. So now that it's done that, it's now going to properly show here in this conflicts what it's overwriting, and it's now got our BFC4 that's overwriting Winter Sun and Choice Source. That's exactly what we want. And you can see we've got this other one that's overwriting Ultimate Skyrim and Dragon Soul Absorb Glories. Again, exactly what we want. And some other ones too that have already gone through and done. So there's a ton of these. There's a ton of these. This is why it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get a mod load order like this working, especially in a consistent and reliable way. It's just very difficult to do. I hope this is starting to give you a little bit more appreciation for what Dylan Perry does with Ultimate Skyrim. Because, I mean, just realize, again, how much work has already gone into this by me. And it's just not even on the same level. In some ways. Yet, at least. Okay. So, again, looking at some more ones. That's another one that's been taken care of, and we're going to open up this one. There it is. This is our Winter Sun folder. That's our compiler output. That's where the choice is yours. We're going to find it in the choice is yours. DA05002, this one. Find it in source. DA05002, this one. Okay. Open this one. Close our old ones. This is DA05. We're going to put this one. This is Winter Sun. Yeah, so we're going to put that on the left. Choice is yours. We're going to grab that one. We're going to put that on the right. Great. So here it is. And we're going to save this one. Once again, we're going to file, save as. We're going to go over into mods. Keep doing this. Vanilla scripts, source, save. Yes, again, just a vanilla version, so we're just going to save it. Now, lovely. This guy makes me very happy, because now that I've found that he did that, I know that I can just look for his edits. And I don't have to I don't have to do this whole malarkey that I did earlier. With comparing every single one. I just know that, so this is right after uploading commands, Grotto, right before int code. I'm just going to copy this right here, put it right there. And once again, it says, what is all this stuff? So once again, I know that right down here at the bottom, it's going to tell us WSN Periite and WSN Temptation, whatever. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go to the bottom, Control End, and we're going to paste that in. And now that error is going to go away. And in fact, it did. So now I'm going to see if I can find any more. Only one match. So that was the only change made by WinterSun to the script. So we're all done. That's it. We can close this one. We can save this one. And we can compile it. One saved, one succeeded, 0 failed. Great, next up. So you can see once I'm not explaining quite as hard on it, over-explaining you might even say, it does go faster. It does go faster. So once again, we're going to make a text document. This one is QF DA05 002A494A. And this one's, hold on. QF DA05 0002A4. There we go. Go. And we're just going to call it same thing. Resolves quest conflict between Sun and everything. Okay. There we go. So that's got that. Next one up. That's going to be this one here. DA09. Nope. I just did 0507. So we're just going to find that here. Here it is. And we're going to find that here. Same one. Yep. So this one first. It's going to go, oops, it's going to go on the left. This one second. This one on the right. And this is WinterSun, so I can search for WinterSun. Oh, I love it so much. Makes my life a lot easier. Frag. Int. 54. Here it is. And I'm just going to compare. Dagon speaks one last time. Quest completed. You can see this has to do with the Mirrodin's Dagon Daedric quest. There it goes, and same deal again, same deal. It's going to say that same exact thing. It says I don't know what those things are, and we're just going to tell it what those things are. And then it's going to say, okay, everything's good now. So now I'm going to look over here and look for WinterSun. And it looks like that's the only edit here. So again, we're all done. We're going to save, and we're going to compile. And there it goes, all done. So we're going to close both of these out. Go back over to our scripts folder, new text document, and our name is QF. Actually, this is just way too slow for me. There. Much better. Should have done that earlier. All right, resolves, in fact. What? What? Thank you. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this. It's the same thing. It's doing the same thing. All done. Next one up. Analyze that. Look at our next conflict. Did 07. Now doing 09. But this one is WinterSun with even better quest objectives. Not with the choice is yours. So we'll have to move one of our folders. That's all. No big deal. Here's WinterSun. Here's the choice is yours, but that's not what we want. We want even better quest objectives. So let's go to file name. This is the mods folder. I'm going to go up to E. Even better quest objectives. Here it is. Scripts, source. Lovely. DA09. That's this one, and that's this one. Great. So once again, Winter Sun we're going to have on the left, right over here. Makes my life a little bit easier. And even better quest objectives we're going to have over here on the right. Here it is. Winter Sun edit. That's going to be fragment 2. Here it is. And we can immediately see exactly what that conflict is. So we're going to fix it. Put it right there, and there we are. And again, same deal. Same old, same old. Just got to put in those properties, make them look pretty. And let's see if we have another look. Nope, that's our last one. So we're going to save. And I did not see this. That was a mistake, but it's not the end of the world. I'm a little upset with myself because I know better. But, and I've been doing really good about that for quite a while. But that's a mistake that's easy to make. And not the end of the world. It doesn't really break too much. Just if I were to come back and look at this again, I would probably not realize that I'd made that change to the original. So we're going to fix that. What we're going to do is we're just going to look at fragment 2 here, and we're going to undo this change. There it is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to save this back over into the even better. So we've fixed it. Fixed the mistake. No big deal. All better. So once again, all I'm going to actually do this time is I'm just going to copy this entire text file. I think this is going to be a little bit easier. And we're going to rename it 9 for E for E1. Down. Next up, we've got one more from Even Better Quest Objectives. Then one more from Requiem. And then these ones here from my merged mods. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Even Better Quest Objectives here. Skyrim, Winter Sun here. 10. That one's going to go on the left. 10. This one's going to go on the right. Move it over here. Yeah, so this is an example of what I was saying earlier. When they have the exact same capitalization, it's just going to append into the displayed file name the source folder, which is nice. Save as. Mods. We're going to go back to date modified. Vanilla scripts for compiler, scripts, source, save, yes. And we're going to find our Winter Sun edit. Here it is. Fragment 55. Here we are. And just comparing to see where this goes. Alias map marker, utility weight. It's right before end code again. So right before end code, enter, paste. There it is, Winter Sun, Winter Sun. Once again, a compilation error. Just scrolling on down to grab those variables. There they are. And then over here, go to Control End, paste them in. My error goes away. Everything's better. Let's see if over here we have any more Winter Sun edits. Nope, that is the only edit once again. And this one, Molac. It's the Moloch Ball quest. Okay, so we're going to save our change. Don't really care. You can see I haven't bought Sublime Text. Sorry. There's no reason to pay for that. No reason at all. So, okay, yeah, so just saved it, and compiling. There it goes, compiled. So we'll close both of these. Open up this folder. There it is, lovely. Control-C, Control-V, and then, because I keep getting smarter about this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. Brain was not working there for a second. Yeah, that's right. Okay, another one down. Alright, so that's our last Even Better Quest objective once. So now we're going to look at Requiem. Now this one, a little bit nervous about this one just because Requiem makes a lot of changes. So hopefully there's just not really any issue here, but we'll have to see. So, Requiem, we're looking for DA16. So scripts, source, Requiem, fine. Move. There we go. DA10. Not there. Probably quests. Yeah. No, not there. Okay. QF DA10. Well, I'm just going to look. QFDA. Really? Oh, 16. 16. I'm looking at the wrong line highlighted. Causing all sorts of errors. I'm looking at this right in my face the whole time. It wasn't quests. It's right here. Okay. The Requiem one's going to go on the right, though, so let's open up our Winter Sun one first. That's not Winter Sun. That's Winter Sun. QA16. That's this one. Here it is. I'm going to move that to the left. And Requiem. Put that one to the right. Here it is. Once again, one edit. Looks like a Bermuda. Ugh, I can't talk. Edit this time. And fragment 138. There it is. That's all. Paste that over. Once again, it's going to tell me that that's not going to compile. And once again, that's just because we've got a couple of extra variables. So we're just going to copy those in, paste those down, and now it's going to say everything's fine. I think this said there was only one, and there is only one. So that's it. We're once again done. We're going to save this as, because I didn't do that earlier. Save as. We're going to move over to mods, vanilla scripts source, save in there. Vanilla one's already in there, we're just going to replace it, and we're going to compile. All done. Close both of those out. This is the difference between having a mod author that is really, really good about this stuff, like an Ision. I mean, love him to death. His work is awesome. He just makes it really easy to find the changes he's made with that little comment he put in that just says Winter Sun edit. I mean, just makes your life so much easier. I mean, you saw how much faster it was going through and finding just that tiny little change that he made. When I know I can search for Winter Sun in the file and it just pops right to it, versus if I have to just hunt and peck through the whole mod, through the whole script, and just go, I don't know where it is, I don't know what's going on, I just have to compare every single line of code and make sure that everything's the same. That's a nightmare. Having nice comment and code like that is just really nice when you're dealing with a vanilla script. So, if you're a mod author, just a small idea for you, if you happen to be editing vanilla scripts, just put in that nice little comment that says, this is where my change was, and it just makes it 1,000 times easier if someone else comes along after you. Okay, all done with all of these. All of those are done. So that means that we don't care about anything from here down. which is most of them, but we still have a few scripts to work on, which are from this additional merge. This may be one where what I end up doing is a little bit different, because it looks to me like that may not have, or maybe that's updates, and all of those things we just put in there now show up correctly. Additional merge right here. That's at order 234. So 234 here. So what I want to see is which ones of these, because I think it's these files right here that are going to be numbered, and that's probably how I do it. Which one of these are supplying those scripts? Modern brawl fix. Okay. These are the ones that have the conflicts. And interestingly, you can see there's actually multiple conflicts, 4 files conflicting there, and 3 files conflicting here. That's just the source code. Okay. And that's not NCM really. Oh, that's not real. That's not really there. okay. So it's really just these ones here. Okay, but those are conflicting across the 7. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to jump right back. I'm gonna grab a little more water, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, we are back at it. I think what I said was that these were from Modern Brawl. Excellent. Which means here are the source files. So I do have access to this. And I think it was, in fact, all of them. Yes, all of them were from that. And these are all overriding each other. Now, this one, there may not actually be conflicts. And it may actually be totally fine to just leave it like this. Because I could definitely see these guys incorporating this into their mod. Totally possible. I just don't know for a fact that that's what they've done. So I'm just going to confirm that. That's all I'm going to do. We don't need that one anymore for the moment. So here we are, Modern Brawl. Going over to the these don't look like vanilla scripts. So that, okay, a couple, these ones, some of these could be. Maybe those are vanilla scripts. I could be wrong. But we're just gonna find out if there's any issue here. A little confused. Interesting. Okay. That makes me significantly more suspicious, because he would include the source file for any mod that he makes. So that makes me even more suspicious that these are not changed. But we're going to confirm that. So even though that is compiled and I don't have the source, I can fix that. And the way that I do that is I'm going to go over to my tools, which I have in my Skyrim folder, here in this tools folder, and I'm going to look at Champulion. I actually don't need to run it from here, but this is the file that you get, Champulion. I think it's on Nexus. If not, you can find it just by Googling. And this is a Papyrus decompiler. So that's going to take a PEX file, which is a compiled script, and decompile that into a PSC file, which is the source. Now, it's not 100% perfect. There can be minor changes that occur as a result of this decompile, and obviously any comments that were in the original source are not going to be there. It can also change the order that things are in. It does that pretty often, actually, like almost all the time. So it's not a perfect tool, but it's not bad at all. So the way that you run this is you actually run it through command line. You can see I've got it pulled up here. I've got some garbage here already filled out. So the first thing that you do is you want to set your directory to the folder that your Champulion is in. So I've already done that here, but basically it's cd/d, and then you just put in quotes this directory. So you copy this, and then you paste it here, and you put those double quotes there on either side of it. This /d is only if you're changing directories, so like your A drive, C drive, D drive, if you're changing drives. So obviously when you first open up command prompt, if you just open it up normally, it's going to open up in the C drive. And so I had to do a /d to get over to the X drive, which is where all my Skyrim stuff is installed. Which is one of my, you can see it's a Samsung NVMe hard drive. So that's the first thing that you do, is get this into the right folder. And then once you do that, I mean, technically that's not quite necessary, but it's just way easier. All you do is you put in the name Champulion, and that tells it that it's going to run that program. And then you're going to put in the directory of the file or folder you want to decompile. So if I wanted to decompile every single one of these PEX files, all I'd do is I'd put in this here, in quotes. I'd put down a quote, and then I'd paste this right here, and then I'd put it on an end quote. And that would go through and decompile every single one of these. But I don't want to do that. That's going to take it a little bit longer. So instead of that, I'm just going to put in this individual file. So I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it, and then I'm going to put a slash, and then I'm going to press F2, and I'm going to grab this name, come here, and then I'm going to paste that there, and I'm going to close my quotes. Okay, so now it knows what file it's going to decompile, but it doesn't know where to put that decompiled PSC file yet. So we're going to put in the -p argument. No idea why he used the P for that argument. It doesn't really matter. So then I'm just going to put that single quote, and then I want it to go into this output folder here. And you can see I've got this, which is another set of the HT casting region scripts that I decompiled, just to look at them. Don't care about that, those are totally fine there. So here I'm just going to paste in this. I'm going to put in another slash just because sometimes Windows likes you to have that extra slash to know that it's a folder, and then put that close quotes. And then that's it, it's all ready to go. I press enter, and oops, it didn't like that. There it goes. Yeah, so some things are picky about whether you do or don't have that last slash. So this one, it didn't want that last slash, and it worked fine. Okay, so here it is. Here's my decompiled script. I'm going to open that up. That's going to go here. Excellent. This is a very short script, which is going to make this comparison really easy. Here we have the original source from Modern Brawl Fix, and we're just going to pop that over here, and we're going to compare. So you can immediately see this is just a result of the decompiler, and that's just, yeah, you can just see that's a, whatever. That's just a thing that gets put in there. Okay. So it's the same mod author. I didn't even realize that. It's the same mod author, so there's just no way. There's just no way that this has changed. And in fact... interesting. Yeah, that may just be an artifact of the decompiler that didn't show up. But in any event, I'm now no longer concerned at all about these. I'm extremely confident. I'm going to delete this. I don't need it anymore. I'm extremely confident that this is not a conflict. So I'm not going to bother looking through the rest of those. All I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back over to our Modern Brawl Fix. First of all, I'm going to disable these mods again, because we don't need them. And they just clog up our load order over here and be annoying when we merge them. And I'm just going to jump back into this, and I'm going to grab those source scripts, and I'm going to copy those over to my vanilla scripts folder. Oops. And the reason for that, once again, that's fine. I just want my compiler to be able to see all of this stuff. And if there's anything in here that it needs to reference, anything in my load order that it needs to reference, I want it to be able to do that. I don't want any compilation issues for that reason, because it can be a pain to figure out where those are coming from. So, let's go back through. We've gotten some good success there. We've finished through Winter Sun, which is here, where we're confident about all of our scripts that far. Now, I don't think I actually looked through these. So fortunately, as you can see again, a lot of these are NIFs. I don't need to look at any of these NIFs. Those are meshes. I've looked at meshes and texture conflicts already. I do need to look at script conflicts, but this looks very familiar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it looks like there are a few more here than were in the previous one. Excuse me. Throat's getting a little tired from talking. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to compare this to Modern Brawl Fix. Open an Explorer. Here it is. We're going to go into Scripts Source. And we're going to go back to Apocalypse. And we're going to look at these. So here are our conflicts. Blade Sparring, Ravasker, Trainer, Vilcus, Companions, Intimidate, MS1. Yep, those are all from Modern Brawl conflicts. I'm just not even a little bit worried about that. Okay, Requiem. Here's where we may have a little bit of fun. And I don't mean that earnestly. Or perhaps a better way of saying that, I mean that facetiously, ironically. This should be fine. I'm not worried about vanilla Ultimate Skyrim conflicts with vanilla Ultimate Skyrim mods, because I know that Dylan Perry, when he made Ultimate Skyrim, has done a fantastic job. And maybe there's a conflict there, but If so, sorry. This one I am interested in. This one maybe. So these ones here, I've already confirmed I know are fine. Because we've just done that like 3 times. But this one, I don't recognize Calixto. That looks like maybe a Necromancer amulet. Dealio? It's not really what I want to open. I want to open this one. So we're going to pop in here again to source. Calixto. Okay, it is here. That one's fine. So we're good on that one. We're good on that one. Good here. These are not scripts. So we're interested in this. This one... Yeah, we're going to be interested in that one too. The compiler output only indicates that the previous ones have now been... Oh, okay. The choice is yours is vanilla. I say vanilla. Vanilla Ultimate Skyrim. So that should be fine too. Shouldn't be an issue. Ultimate Skyrim, so I'm good with that one. Spell Research is Vanilla Ultimate Skyrim. I'm good with that one. So it's just this one, really. And this one I am pretty concerned about. Unfortunately, I don't think in this version that an I did the same thing that we were talking about before. This is called Player Vampire Quest Script. So we're just going to find that. It even says here. Good. Player Vampire Quest Script. Here it is. So we're going to open that up. And we're also going to open up from Sacrosanct, which I think is just up. Yeah, here it is. Here it is in Hex. Here it is in the other one. Since this is an I scion, I'm going to put it on the left. It doesn't really matter. This one is from the Requiem. We're just going to file, save as. Same old, same old. We're going to go over to our vanilla scripts folder. Scripts source. We're going to save it in here. There already is one. That's fine. I want to see if this says... Sure looks like it. This entire function, in fact, might be a sacrosanct function. This looks like there's probably going to be a lot here. Yeah, I think there's probably going to be a lot here that we're going to have to work on. That's okay. That's okay. We're just going to have to go through and get everything. Okay. So, let's start from the top. Vampire status, that's there. Yikes, I think there's going to be quite a bit here. Okay. I'm going to have to actually evaluate this one. So this one's not going to be the simple patch that I had before. What I need to do is see if this is doing something, if this Requiem version of the script is doing something that I want to include into my sacrosanct script. And frankly, in order to do that, I'm not going to be able to just do that. I'm going to need to look at the vanilla script. I don't know enough about this script that I'm going to be able to just see that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say View, Layout, columns 3, and now there's 3. So I'm going to move this one all the way to the right. This one's going to go into the vanilla scripts folder. This one's going to go into the middle. And then over here, I'm going to open up the original OG script. Now, I think when I say OG, I think it's going to be from the Dawn Guard DLC. Which means what I'm going to want to do is what I was talking about earlier, which is I'm going to go all the way over to my Steam library, Steam Apps Common, Skyrim Tools, and we're going to go into the BSA extractor, and you can see right here I've got a copy of my dawnguard.bsa. This should, actually I think this should be fine. I should have in here under source, nope, never mind, okay. This is just the Arista, so we're just going to delete everything in here. There that goes. And we're going to open up our BSA extractor program. And we're going to extract our Dawn Guard BSA. And we're going to say extract, and we're going to extract that to the output folder. That's this one right here. Select folder. Here it goes. We've got some 15,000 files in that archive. And we're happy that it takes this relatively short amount of time to do this. That happens because we've got an NVMe SSD we're working on, and also that because we've got a no source folder. Okay. A little annoyed with you, Bethesda. That's going to make this significantly harder. That's okay. We'll make it work. We're on Atmospheres. We're going to start back over with our Skyrim soundtrack here. You know what, actually, I'm going to jump over to Oblivion soundtrack. There you go. Something a little different. Cool. So there's that started up. Some better music. Rather than just that Skyrim Atmospheres. Skyrim Atmospheres are bad, don't get me wrong. So we're going to decompile this. I don't need to decompile the whole thing, I just want the script here. Where am I? Here. So just. There it goes. Not the correct one. Grab the wrong one. That's okay. Just grab the correct one this time. Hopefully. Name. Player vampire. This one. Not quite. There we go. There it goes. Player vampire script. That's the one we want. Whew! Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to look like. Okay, we're going to have to reorganize this one to match this one because I can't work with that. Sorry. I suspect many of these will be the same. Many. But it's one of those things, I'm not going to assume it. Because you know what they say about assuming. Auto conditional, perfect. Yeah, didn't think that would exist. These ones that say SCS, I suspect that's sacrosanct. Which is totally fine. This is going to still allow me to see the differences very quickly. So we're going to have line 10, line 11, 12, this one's going to be 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, I know this is a little OCD of me, but I think it's just not going to be possible for me to compare all of this stuff if at least some of these aren't formatted the same way. Empty spots marker, empty spot PC fashion, last feed time. Here. Okay, that's the flush time. Bunch of space to be more accurate. Game days passed. Right. Vampire feed ready. Vampire transform. Increase, that's this one. Image stays modifier, right? Yeah, image stays modifier. That's the next one, and then the decrease, which is very similar. Little one. Effect shader. Well, okay, that was not really what I should have been looking for, but it did. Nord Vampire Race. I thought those might have been together, but it doesn't look like it. That is one of the ones that I want. Okay. DLC 1. Ooh. Interesting. DLC 1. Vampire. 8. Interesting. Didn't exist. Okay, what do you know? I would have thought that one would have. And then I've got a bunch of SCS, so I know that none of those are going to exist. I've got this test integrity. That's probably not going to exist. A bunch more SCS. And I think all of these, really interesting, all of these are not going to exist. Probably because this just has a much more complicated vampire system, would be my guess. But that's very interesting. This is kind of what I was thinking. Looking at it, this one is actually going to be more similar. to the vanilla layout. So I'm going to use this one more as a template. Very interesting that this has Nordrace Vampire and not any of the others. I'm not sure why that would be. It seems like maybe it's even an oversight. I don't know if that's true. That's purely speculative, but it seems like it could be. Because that's just a very strange thing. I wouldn't think you'd deliberately do that, but maybe there's something different about them that I'm just not aware of. Totally possible. Breton race. Hi, Alphys. Imperials, Khajiit. Okay. Nord race. Just a bunch of this to do, just because. Right, I already looked at this. Yeah, just very, very odd that it would leave this one, and not any of the others. Just very strange. I'm not sure why that might be. This is one of those things where it's not going to hurt anything to have extra properties, generally speaking, like as a rule. It's not strictly true, but it is generally true. I'm sure there are scenarios where having excess properties could cause problems. For example, if those properties, if the game isn't able to resolve those properties, doesn't know what those actually point to. Because of edits made to the scripts in Test 5 edit. Could cause errors. But that's easily enough fixed in Test 5. Now, normally you would not, frankly, do this way. To be quite frank. Normally, this would look more like working through the creation kit. However, with as complicated as my load order is, just getting into the creation kit can be very challenging. Interesting. Yeah, so this one's gotten rid of this X marker. Yeah, so even the Requiem script has actually gotten rid of quite a few properties. And also, interestingly, not all of them are the same. Removed properties. These still look like a total mess. Total mess. And these look fundamentally... Oh, very interesting. He's declared a bunch of stuff at the end, too. And it looks like this guy has also. How strange. I'm sure they have reasons for doing it this way, but I don't know what they are. I've never been, I've never been one that, that makes mini mods, and so I'm not sure why mod authors do that. I'm sure they have a reason, but what it is unknown to me. Okay. This is essentially the same thing. This is not the same. Yeah, they have a fundamentally different method of handling that. Totally fine. Again, a totally different way of handling this. Whew, yeah, of course that's different. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm kind of getting. I just kind of have to get a feel for what's going on in the vanilla script and what's going on in this script. It looks like there's just a lot more direct control, as sort of a summary, a high-level summary of what he's doing. Is he's just really controlling everything, which I'm sure is just necessary when you're modding this way. So now I'm going to look at the Requiem version and see what we find here. I think these getting overwritten is fine. Yeah, because we're not going to want them to duplicate both Requiem's vampire abilities and Sacrosanct's. That's going to make for some very OP vampires. And that seems to be a fundamental difference at that level, is what abilities are getting added specifically or removed. There's also these conditions on vampire progression. But that seems to be duplicated. So I don't think that's... Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine. I think this one, overwriting, is correct. We're going to change our view. Let's close. No. Let's close these. And we're going to go back to a 2-column view. What is making me layout, of course. Columns 2. There we go. Brain not working. Okay. So we're good with there. We're good with there. Don't need these, but they can stay. Now, with that, I want to make sure that this, Sacrosanct is loading after Requiem. So therefore, the Sacrosanct vampire scripts are loading after Requiem. So therefore, everything's good as far as those go. These are going to be the Brawl. So we're good there. Those aren't anything. That's the Brawl fix. This is from Vanilla Old Sky. This we just confirmed. This we need to look at. That's from Vanilla Old Sky. That's from Vanilla Old Sky. And that's from Vanilla Old Sky. Okay. So last one for Requiem to look at. So QFDA 16. We just worked on this one not that long ago. I think this is a quest. QFDA 16 sure is. Okay. I'm gonna put that one, actually, I'm gonna put that one on the right. And then for the other one, we're gonna go to, is it not one of these? It's not one of these. Our vanilla scripts folder. Somehow I just can never see that. Don't know why not. Clearly I'm blind. This is QF EA16 00242 AF. Lovely. Vanilla scripts. Yep, that's the one I want on the right. Unfortunately, oh, good. These seem to have the same order. That's good. However, unfortunately, I don't think this one's going to have a note that I'm going to be able to locate the way that I could with the Winter Sun changes. But at least they're in the same order, which still makes my life much easier than it otherwise would be. If I were to guess, I'd say that's probably not a coincidence. Just based purely on the number of these, you can be pretty much sure that it's not a coincidence, actually. Okay. All these are looking fine. How far along are we? Like halfway. They seem to be pretty much the same length then for each. So probably, if there's any differences here, they're going to be quite minor. I do expect there to be some differences. If nothing else, I expect that Winter Sun change that we made. In fact, I see it coming right here. Yeah, this Winter Sun change, if nothing else. But we want that. That's good. We want that Winter Sun change carried over. So we are glad that it is there. This is not a level of detail that most people go to when making a patch. Which is totally understandable. I mean, you can see immediately why this is a lot of work to do. Yeah, totally, we're totally fine there on that. Great. So with Requiem, that's really that's one of our last really large script heavy mods. And I've already looked at these, so we know we're good here. conflicts here. And this one does have some. Okay, and I thought this was the case. Yeah, so I've done one of these. What's going on there? Sorry, guys. Give me just a second here. Got some IRL things going on here in my right monitor. Sorry, give me just a moment. Sorry about that. Okay. Should be good to go. Just wanted to take care of that real quick. Alright. Moving forward. These. Why am I looking at these? Shouldn't need to, right? This is this is a patch for when it starts. This is not needed. This should be fine. Could be an issue, yeah. Nope, all good. Excuse me. This is an additional merge. And everything's overrunning stuff we've already looked at, so I know all of those are good. This isn't overriding anything. I don't think those have any scripts and they're not overriding anything, so this is not enabled, and I'd be shocked if that were a concern. Now, this one definitely could. I'm really curious. This one's a pretty experimental inclusion. And might have to be cut, just because I wouldn't be surprised if this just doesn't work at all. Frankly. It just would not be surprising in the least. Is there not? That is, again, a strong indicator that this is actually taken from another mod. I mean, it's not definitive, but it's a strong indicator. And there being no source here either. Yeah. You can be pretty confident. I just don't think that's an issue. I'm gonna let it be. Yeah, okay. Now this is one that I know for sure does not work. This is like a for sure conflict. And in fact, I would be... If I'm able to fix this easily, I would be really surprised. And this probably has a copy. Yeah, it's another overwritten. I mean, these are such heavy conflicts that a solution here is probably not easy. I may come back to those actually for that exact reason. But those are for sure. I think this is probably not any scripts. Yeah, no. Really? Right. Sorry. Just remembering, it's just hard to keep track of all the things that you've done, all the steps you've gone through, because there's a lot. I don't think there's any scripts here. I actually think this is probably fundamentally incompatible with some of the rest of the stuff that I've done. It is pretty likely that's getting disabled. Oh, there's actually patches for this stuff. It should be fine then. As long as this is not overriding. It is. May have to look at that at some point. But we are just about to all of our... Yeah, we're just about to all of the stuff that is super unconcerning as far as script conflicts go, which is what we're primarily dealing with today, is script conflicts. This I know is fine. Now, I know some of these have... really, that one doesn't... oh, yeah, it's an SKC thing. Deal. Yeah. Word wall triggers. So this is... How did that not show up earlier? Oh, I didn't look at the Ultimate Skyrim folder. Yeah, so this is one that'll probably need conflict resolution. This one is... Yeah, those are source. I think we're okay there. But yeah, for the Greybeard one, I'm going to want to work on here. So let's do that. This one shouldn't be too bad. Excuse me. We're only dealing with 4. So that's good. We'll just open directly to the source folder there. We're going to open here. Scripts source. And we're just going to find, I think there should be 4. Yeah, here's 1, and here's 1. Yeah, 4. So DB Sanctuary. By name, DB Sanctuary word wall script. That's these 2. Yeah, great. So we're going to open this one. And we'll put that one on the left. Oops, on the left. And that was the Alt Sky one. Yeah, Alt Sky. So then we're going to open this one and put it on the right. Okay, so I'm glad that these are in the same order. Or appear to be in approximately the same order. Yep, that difference is fine. That's just the addition of my Dragon Soul Absorb more glorious animation. Obviously, the obvious sign of that is just this. But you can also look at the specific things that get played here and compare that here. That's just weight versus this stuff. And you can see this weight is replaced by this, and then you get the learned animation here, which means we're basically, it's the same to here, and then this malarkey instead of this, and then we get to that. So it's the same. Now this... Yeah, okay. You can see you used to have a bug here. I'm just having to read these here. Sorry for the pause. I'm having to read this code a little bit and kind of process it in my head. I think it's fairly obvious what's going on again, but need to confirm that. So what's happening is this has some additional conditions related to Skyrim Unbound, which you can clearly see here, to actually learn the word, which are clearly not present here. And we want those to be present. Otherwise, our non-Dragonborn character, if we were to have one, would be able to learn, shout words or something. I don't know exactly what the difference is, actually. I forget. I'm not making sense. Interesting. They must have actually fixed this. But yeah, those two, that section is the same. I see. So if you, if you, I forgot about this. So if you are not a, if you're not a Dragonborn and you allow shouts, then with Skyrim Unbound, you just instantly learn the word, regardless of Dragon Soul use. So we've copied that over, that functionality. I think we're significantly through our script here. We're making good progress to the end of the script. That's the end of that function. Animation, trigger. It's got this condition. I think this section is just going to get copied over. Again, just had to kind of look that over to make sure that was true. This one was simpler. That other one, plus I just hadn't seen the script before. Once again, looks like we've just got an additional condition. That's what's going on here again. Having to do with Skyrim Unbound. And I'm not even going to bother to try and figure out exactly what it is. I just know that that's going to want to be there. Similarly here. For sure we're going to want to put this in. While this, if is looking. We have an additional condition. If this, then, hold on. And word walls triggered set init int value, int, that's integer value 1. That was saying init initialization, but no, int value 1 start fx, and if else if not, do while. Oh, interesting. Once again, another little additional condition to part of it. wait. Okay, perfect. That should do it. We're going to make sure that we're saving this where we want to, which is going to be not here. We want to leave an unchanged version here, as we've discussed. And we want to put this into our vanilla. It's here somewhere. Here it is. Vanilla scripts source folder. So we're going to save it there. There was a vanilla version, so we're going to overwrite that. And then we're just going to compile this as usual. And it didn't have any trouble. So that's got that one addressed. We're going to disable, re-enable. And we're going to go back up. So we're looking at, once again, these four. So we can close out from here. These two. Oh, I also want to... go into our compiler output scripts and put in my text file telling me what's going on there. Resolves conflicts with Skyrim Unbound and word wall absorb Flores. That's the abbreviation. Somehow it doesn't look right. Hello? Word wall learning. It's like something about that didn't look right, and it wasn't. So we fixed that. Great. That's another one of our scripts down. So let's look again. I don't need to look here. I've got them here. All of them are conflicts. So here's our next one. Word wall trigger script. So we're gonna open that one. And yeah, that one can be on the right. That's fine. And then word wall trigger script. Word wall trigger script. Let's go on the left. Okay. I'll go on ahead and save as first, so don't forget it. The scripts source folder. Here it is. Save. There'll be a vanilla version which we're going to overwrite. And we're going to go through. And we're once again, these look like extra ones. Bull property, yeah. So we're going to add those in. Not sure whether they're necessary or not yet. They probably are though. So I'm just going to add them. It doesn't hurt anything. I didn't get an error saying it didn't know what I was talking about, so it's probably all fine. Yeah, all fine. Okay, good. Here we have our first differences. Again, we have conditions that are getting added and that sort of thing having to do with Skyrim Unbound. So it's the same sort of thing as last time, whereas we get conditions here and we get additional animations here. So this is right after game teach word, which is here. So it's going to be after this. And it's essentially... we can just paste this part. Okay. And then we have this condition, and I want to see, this is for game unlock word. Teach word, my word. Is this just totally a new section? Somehow it doesn't look plus equals. Yeah, it sure is. Sure is a whole new section. Yeah. And then that's correct from there. You can get this instead of this and this. Okay. What? That's pretty funny. Poke. I don't know. Something about that is just entertaining to me.
It's got to be vanilla though, because it's the same in both. But it's somehow that's funny to me. I'm not really even sure why. Okay. This all looks fine. And then again, we have some differences here. Just an additional condition. This one. I'm just going to go over this entire if block. There we go. That should work fine. Start word wall. Again, another additional condition. Which is wrapping around all of those actions, it looks like. Like that. This looks the same. This looks the same. And then we again have some additional stuff here from the left. Just a couple of variables to start with, variable definitions. And then I'm sure it's going to be an additional condition in here somewhere, probably. Yeah, here it is. Around the start FX. We wrap around that. And then I think there's going to be another one over here. Yeah. Around the play animation. So you just have to be a little careful when you're comparing, because you could easily have missed that difference. And it's not like it would be the absolute end of the world, but there would be just a little bit of functionality that wouldn't be carried over. We want all our functionality to be carried over. Compiling again. And it's in here now. This is the one, so we're just going to copy this. It's the same thing, so we're just going to rename it, and that describes what that change was. So, next one down. So that's got both of these. So we're going to go to our Dawn Guard DLC 1. I'm curious whether this has the same file structure. It doesn't look like it does. In fact, it may not even. Yeah, I don't see the source script. Okay. Well, that's a little annoying. Oh well. Let's fix that. We'll get it. DLC 1 World Wall. World Wall. Word Wall. DLC 1 Word Wall. Oh. What am I talking about? This is the decompiled one. What am I talking about? Here it is. So the source. I don't know what in the world I'm talking about. We're importing game here, not there. That's not an issue. Same 5. Global loop, word wall, word wall, word wall. Word wall, word. Target, target. Look. My quest, my stage. Word, sound, whisper, enabler, inner radius, middle radius, outer radius. My lock ref marker. Yeah. Okay. It is looking the same. Yeah, the same. Okay, we're going to have some additional conditions here. I mean, it's going to be the same old song and dance. These are going to be the same changes. These are effectively the same thing. It looks to me they're just in different locations. No, yeah, same thing. Where we've got this instead of the word wall, and then we're gonna have this as just like an additional little section before we get to the issue that was here. Teach word, my word. We do that, and then we get ourselves a couple spaces, and we're gonna put this little block, which is going to conditionally actually unlock the word based on the Skyrim bound settings that we turned in the end scene. Okay. Shut global variable, yada, all this stuff. This new thing, poke word wall, okay, cool. Now we're to the else condition. And again, I think down here farther, we're just going to have an additional condition further. If player, or is it's fine. Stop FX worlds, we're going to have all these additional conditions. So we're going to get our, and in fact, I think it just wraps around this, doesn't it? If in yeah, just wraps around. So we take the whole if block and replace this if block with that plus the dash. I accidentally have one too many lines. Okay. Great. So we've got no wait, play animation. Trace stack. This is a debugging thing, is all, but sure, we'll copy it over. And then otherwise, this is just, again, a condition around this this block that's going to be added in. That's all. No change there. There. A couple new there. And then again, some new conditions around that. And again, a new condition around that action. Okay. And then that looks fine, and that looks fine. So I did not save as already, so we're going to do that so that we don't save into the same folder, the original folder. It's the same thing. The source folder, replace the vanilla version, and compile it. Okay, compile once again. And we're almost done. So here it is. It's going to be the exact same thing. It's just for this one instead of for that one. Nice. Great. Okay, one more down. Just one more to go for this particular mod. Is going to be this Dragonborn. Not that. That. Which is going to be DLC 2 Word Ultra Start. It's kind of funny that they even made separate ones. I mean, not really. It's not really that surprising that they didn't need to. But it is just kind of an interesting detail. And again, you're going to see it's going to be these exact same differences between them. We're just doing the same thing one more time. This one is once again after teach word. It's this whole block, in fact. We'll just go here right before shut global. Here. And that's good. And then we have new stuff. And then. Oh. There we go. Okay. Alright, next up, a couple more items here. Not in this part though, I think these parts were always all the same. The stop FX, here we do have some differences, which is just around this entire fifth block. That is. And then start word wall once again around this entire if block. Or well, it's not even an if block over here, but now it is. Sure. Oh, interesting. He actually deliberately did that out. That doesn't matter. I'll leave him off. Either way, it's not very important. It's just a debugging tool.
things. Variable definitions. There. And then our additional conditions. Oop. Accidentally zoomed out. Copy that, put that around this. There we go. And then we're all done. File, clicked over here, file, save as. We go over to mods, vanilla scripts, source, save. Yes, we want to overwrite the original, and we're going to compile. Well done. That's the last one for that mod. And once again, I'm just going to copy my thing, paste it, and it's patching the same thing. Okay, disable and re-enable, and that should handle our Greybeard meditation mod, which is just an animation for when we come across werewolves. And similarly, this one is for souls, which I think we already did this one. Yeah, you can see right here. Already did. Okay. And then we're to our visuals. So we're really rocking and rolling here. We're nearly done. Nearly done. Yeah, we're all the way. None of this stuff. I don't even think. I mean, this could theoretically, but I don't think so. It's like the only one that has any hope of none of these. Okay. I'm pretty pleased with all of that. So we just have the one set of conflicts that I was talking about earlier remaining, which are these marriage conflicts, and it's really going to be I'm going to use the word challenging to fix these, but frankly I think challenging is an understatement. I suspect challenging is an understatement, but that's what we're here to find out. So we're going to start by doing just these two, because I think trying to patch both together at once is going to be nearly impossible. Just my opinion. By the way, you may notice that almost none of this stuff is in BSAs, and the reason why is that when I install mods, unless the mod author tells me otherwise, I extract it from the archive, and that's using, well, unless the mod author or my friendly neighborhood guide, SRLE, Legacy of the Dragonborn, Rectified. Unless one of those two tells me not to, then I extract the BSA using my BSA extractor when I install. This just makes it so much easier. I mean, just so much easier to compare files. I mean, it's just, it would just be almost impossible. Okay. So we got the follower framework open here. And we're going to open up marriage mod. We're going to compare some scripts here. Now, does this have source files? It does not. It's a little irritating. I really think, as a mod author, you should always include your source files. I understand, you don't want to give people that. That's your prerogative. But as a mod author, but it is quite a nuisance, I think, is maybe the best way. Because again, like I get it. You've worked hard on these. You don't want to provide that. to someone else for them to just copy it or whatever. Okay. So here's where we're going to find our conflicts. And it unfortunately could be quite significant. By means of marriage, wedding. Yeah. Okay, well that's at least I've only seen one through a significant proportion here. So that's good. So we've got this one here. Now I should have the source file from Nether's. QF relationship. In fact, I should really just be looking directly in here, I think. Oh. I don't. That's curious. Not sure why, but it's okay. We'll be fine. We'll just decompile it from both. Output. Let's compile. There it goes. I'm going to make a new folder here. We're going to call it to have and to hold. Capitalization is optional. Okay. Same thing. I'm going to do the same thing. Decompile this element. My guess, once again, when you see ones that don't have when you see that most of the mod author scripts do have source code, and then you see some that don't, it's a good bet. Might not be the truth, but it's a good bet that part of the mod is from another author originally, and it's just been included. In their mod. This is follower. Okay. What that's going to let me do is it's going to let me compare these two a little more easily. So I'm just going to open that up. And then I'm going to open that up. Great. Whew! Okay. There's some differences there. This has more. To say the least. It has more properties. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. I'm going to have to come right back. But you can see I'm going to have to decompile some more scripts. Because there's going to be some more scripts that are needed for this to work. That didn't happen over here, so that's good. All right, I'll be right back. 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna have to compile, decompile some additional files here. That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to go to our this one, and I suspect it's gonna be one of these. But I'm just gonna decompile all of these and pop them over into that source folder. Don't need these here anymore. And I don't want them to confuse me here in a second, so I'm going to delete them. It's going through and decompiling a whole bunch of scripts. Okay, it finished. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these, and I'm going to copy them over to my source, my vanilla scripts folder. So this folder is where my compiler is looking. That's not surprising. I'm going to say OK. Now that should allow this. Yeah, see, there, that compile issue went away. So that's, again, what I'm talking about. If you don't have the source script that tells the engine what this thing is in the right folder for Sublime text to look at, is not going to know how to do it. But now we do. So, all right. We're going to look through here for some of this stuff. Interesting. They use different terms for that. I don't know whether that's going to be okay, frankly. Before I get into these too much, I'm going to actually get into kind of the weeds a bit. I don't know. Is this the weeds? Is the other thing the weeds? I suppose that's a matter of opinion. I have no idea what that's doing, to be honest. Okay, seems fine. That seems fine. Seems fine. Seems fine. These are different. Oh. Don't give me that. It has to be, it must be defined indirectly. That's fine. It can be defined indirectly. Yeah, this is one of those situations where actually, if I'd copied it over, it would have been a problem. But this is an issue where it wouldn't have allowed me to compile it with that particular mistake. Fortunately.
That's fine. That's fine. Unregister. That's all fine. Yeah, this it wouldn't have. Yeah.
I'm not sure what that does.
Yeah, the definition. I write it. I don't think it does that. Yeah, it doesn't do that. Not defined here. Must be a native function. I don't know what it does. Huh. Really? Where is that defined? Curious. I'm simply going to have to trust that this is okay. Because I just don't. I should think it should be, but I don't have any way to confirm it. Yeah, here's a whole mess. Cute. Additional actions going on during the wedding. Yeah, quite a few additional people showing up and actions going on compared to this one. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to be a change. On that one. And this one seems fine. And this one seems fine, okay. Alright, yeah, like I said, this is kind of a mess. And that's the easy comparison. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other one too, so we're going to, I guess, have 5 open. Please have a source. You do have a source. Thank you. Thank you. This one is called QF Relationship Marriage Wedding. Q should be after all this, right? Yeah, QF. Not here. Good. One fewer conflict to concern myself with. Some orders. It's fine. Some orders. Okay. Okay. One down. Okay. Yeah, there's gonna be a couple here though. Potentially several. Yikes, those comparisons aren't gonna be fun, are they? That's a lot. Alright, well, I think by far the easier way to do this
No. Really? Just the one. Just the one. Just the one with the other. Okay. I'm pleasantly surprised by that. I was really quite thinking this was going to be a total nightmare. And instead it's only a partial nightmare. So that's good. Okay. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. Relationship, marriage, spouse, house, script. Yeah, I think I was actually looking at this at one point earlier. But I've gotten a bit better at figuring these sorts of things out. Relationship, marriage, spouse, house, script. It would really be extremely nice if you had not forced me to decompile this, I have to say. But is what it is. House script, that's this one. So we're going to open that up. And we're going to go back over to this one. Open that up. And these are different. This one is for the decompiled. This is, yeah, okay. Actually, let's do it the other way. Let's use this one. And we're going to look here. Okay. So this one is multiple adoptions. And this one is a tab and hold. That's basically what's going on. Boy, this one's simple, huh? Would allow me to compile fine. Would also allow me to compile fine. That's good. Pleased to see that. Okay, Whiterun House. Let's just do order here. Makes things a little easier. Solitude House. Windhelm. Job Blacksmith Faction. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna undo all this. And I'm gonna do it over here instead. Solitude, Windhelm, Markarth, Riften, Whiterun, Falkreath. Not here. Question mark. Why would that not be here? Hjalmark. Not here. Question mark. Pale House. Question mark. Spouse House. Yes, that one's here. Big question marks for me. This one is a custom house manager. That's nice. This one won't have that. Can be pretty confident. These three, so these are just house locations, right? And then these ones are just basically jobs. Marriage custom home. This one has a manager instead of this. So that's fine. Job merchant faction. It's interesting that this one does not have that. Must be defined elsewhere. That's fine. No problem. So this one allows multiple marriages. This one allows multiple kids. And here's where things get a little interesting. This should all be fine. This is very simple. This is not. Yes. Okay. Actually, this should work fine. I mean, I can't be 100% confident, but I think it should. Definitely should if we only have one. Yeah. If we only get married once, which is all I actually intend to do. But this had other features that I wanted, specifically on the front of the wedding and so forth. I'm shocked that was not more trouble than it was. Okay, so we've got our set of fixes here. Somewhere. In our compiler output here. So here we've got our list of fixes. So I'm going to go into test 5 edit, and I want to into test 5 edit. And I want to make sure that the entries for those quests in test 5 edit are going to be compatible with those changes. Normally, you would be doing both of these things at once in the creation engine, and you'd be doing it fundamentally differently. At least I think. That's certainly how you'd be doing it if you were making our quest. Or if you were making an original change to a quest, to an existing quest. When you're combining changes like this, things are just a little bit different. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put over on my right screen this, make it a little bit smaller and put it over there, and I'm just going to go through these, essentially, one at a time. Each of the differences. This one, this was through. Here. Which I think is going to be through the main. Yeah, so that's the little bit of a challenge, is finding exactly which of those it is. But, the easier thing to do. I don't know why I'm thinking of doing it that way. No, not that one. Huh. What plugin do you give? You don't. What? What? Really? It's all done through the script? Actually, that does kind of make sense. In which case, that's fundamentally compatible. This one, however, does have some plugins, so we'll look at those. Good. Quest, this one. Okay, so we want to make sure that we carry over all changes from both in our final plugin, which is true. Good there. Should be fine. Should be fine. Okay. Make sure the same thing's true here. Quest. Oop, this does not look good. This is why we're opening this up in test 5 edit. We want to make sure that absolutely all the properties that existed before still exist. Because if any properties don't exist and we're referencing them, it will not work. Yeah, we're going to want that to carry over. Now, if I were trying to publish this somewhere or something, I would never put this directly into here, but this is for my own use. And I'm going to back up all my plugins every single time I make a change. So I'm not worried about it. That's fine. But again, we want to make sure that absolutely every single property is there. We'd rather have too many properties than too few. This makes me think, though, that there's going to be script changes from Moon and Star immersion patch that have not been addressed. We do want the log entry from Ultimate Skyrim for sure. And I think that's going to be it because we've just turned green. That's going to be it for that one. Next one. Oh, Legendary Edition patch changes that aren't carried over. I don't think this is going to matter. I'm not really worried about it, frankly. Okay. Fine. Okay. So it was Moon and Star immersion patch. Let's look at Moon and Star immersion patch. We're going to back up that plugin. We're going to save that change. Otherwise, that should all be fine for that one. But we are going to look at Moon and Star. Nope. Abbreviated Moon and Star immersion patch. Let's put that in the Explorer, scripts, and what's this one over here? QFMAS. Not in here. TIFF 02. Just not think that's in here. MQ105. That's this one. I did address this one before I jumped on stream. Yeah, I did address this one. We should be okay. But you know what? Just to be absolutely sure, I've made sillier mistakes in the past. I'm sure. What am I even looking at? This one, please. Okay. Oh, these are even the same. Good. Now they're not, but that's okay. We'll just find. There's fragment 24. Looks good. Fragment 107 looks good. 95 looks good. 96 looks good. 42. What mod am I? Moon and Star. Right, so this one has yeah, see, here's that change. So I've definitely done this. Okay. This one has some courier changes. Okay, so we've done that one. Darn it. I keep closing things I need. That's okay. Here we are. Faiths of Winter Sun, and the choice is yours. Okay, let's go here. Make sure these are all good. Okay. I don't know exactly where Winter Sun is, so let's find it. Here we are. And that compared to the choices rules should be about here. Okay, we're specifically interested in quests. And we're not really interested in these ones. We are interested in this kind of one. This isn't touched by both of the mods we're interested in, but I am curious about this. Okay, Dawn Guard being in red is totally fine. This appears to be an ITM, which is kind of interesting. Hello. Scroll down. All of these appear to be fine. This one, maybe not. That's not very important. That's our only difference. We're gonna leave it be. So it is. Discerning the transmundane. Mundane. Transmundane. Something like that. Words. Things that are said. Again, log entry. I'm okay with a conflict there. Yeah. Looks like that's all. So here's one of our ones. Winter Sun, choices yours, and Ultimate Skyrim. So I'm going to make sure all of the properties are present across. We do not want to have any properties that are not carried over. That is bad news. Now, choices yours is vanilla Old Sky, so I'm not worried about that being properly integrated. This tells me that actually I need to adjust that script a little bit for that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my source script. I'm going to change it. Cancel. I'm going to go over to the source script for this one. And I'm not sure which one it is. I'll have to find that. Scripts. This is a script fragment. Okay, so that makes it a little more annoying. But it's Boethia, and we know that it was related to Winter Sun. And we know that it was related to the choices. So we're going to open up these again. And we're going to look at our as well. I think it's going to be one of these. So I think it's going to be a DA mod based on what I know and what I remember and things and stuff. So let's find some DA. I think it's DA. Or maybe it's QFD. QFD. So QFDA 01. QFD01. Intro, that's not the same. 02. That's this one, so we're going to open this up. And that looks promising because we're looking for one related to Boethia. So I think this might be the one. Based purely on that word right there. Boethia, this is the one. DFQA02. So we're going to go over to here, BF. QF BA02 0004 D QF DA, hello, DA 02, this one. Okay, we're going to open that up. And we're going to look at our script fragments. So these ones point to different ones. That's the reason we're getting this red highlight. This one's pointing to script fragment 58. Oh, it says the script name here. But this one's to fragment 63, which means we're handling it differently, which means that the technical fix that was, like, it was a fix that I made over here before will not actually fix the issue. So I want to find fragment 53. 53, right? 50. 58. Something like that. Interesting. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this into a file. And put it over here. Paste. Okay, so 58. Find fragment. Here it is. Okay, so there's 58. Now, the new one that it's pointing to is 63. So here I can find fragment 63. What? What? Okay. I'm pretty confident I put these over here, but I'm not seeing them. Okay. It's possible I overwrote this earlier. Okay. Well. It's a little frustrating. But that's okay. It is okay. We will fix it. little disappointed that I'm having to go back to this step, but you know, you get setbacks. Setbacks happen, so I'm over it now, and we're moving on. We're just gonna fix it, and that's all. Okay. Yeah. One of these 60 and higher fragments, which is just not surprising to see that they don't already exist. In fact, I just know that it's not going to, so I'm just going to put that in. And if it were a duplicate, it would just not compile. I'd know before we got anywhere, so. Okay. We're getting there. Of course, there's 63. There it is. Okay, 40. Looks good. Yeah, that's fine. 65. This. 48. Looks fine. 45. Okie. 30. Good. Good? No. Okay. You have to watch closely. It's easy to miss those things. Easy to miss those things. This looks like something that might be different. It is 1% edit. This is one where 3 mods touch the same thing, so I probably made a mistake in transcribing. That's all. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna compile you. Good. Okay. Alright. Setback overcome. We're fine. On that particular issue, we weren't done looking for everything. So as far as properties go, we want everything to be the same, or to have everything that any of them have. I might have to look at this again. I thought I saw something about that, though. might be okay, because I bet I compared these. Yeah, I think I compared these two, and then I compared these. Essentially 3, so I think that should be okay. I think these are ones where I actually want to remove it. Am I absolutely sure? No. This is a new stage. Definitely want to do that. I'll think about this a little more. I'm sure that new stage has to do with religion and whatever. You can see I'm really just looking for colors, which allows me to go much, much quicker through all of this. I trust you, old Sky. I'm gonna leave this. I don't think that's a problem. Brink of Dawn. Really? Okay, we're overwriting something else. Let's just make sure. It looks like it's update that we're overwriting, so I think that's fine. We'll just look at it. Yeah. Those are even removed in the Legendary Edition patch, so definitely fine. Okay. Done with that one. Fates of Skyrim. Timing is everything, and Winter Sun. Yep. Winter Sun. Even better quest objectives. Let's just look for that one, shall we? Should be right around here. No? That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Too fast. Not what I want me to do. Okay. Next one up. I know I'm getting a little quieter, guys. I'm starting to run out of steam here. Yeah, let's look at Red Star again. Should be some quest. None of these are even overwritten. Oh, of course, because it's the immersion patch. Quest. But they're all being green tells me that everything should be okay on the properties front. Everything should be carried over. Yeah, in fact, I fixed this earlier. Okay, and we'll back that up again. All right, guys, that's quite some progress for today. We fixed a ton of scripting issues. I'm gonna just pull over my to-do list over here. This may be an MCM issue. I've got a vagrancy, which I think it is an MCM issue. Just an MCM setting issue that I didn't address. This is taken care of. I think there's a Forgotten City one maybe to do. I think you get, I think you get called for this one. Yeah, well, let me just visit on Nexus. This one you get cold as soon as you're level 5. Which is just a bit... Yeah. It's just early. I may go into test 5 edit to see if I can... Or even... Let me look. Scripts. You have source in here? Guys, include your source files. Again, I get why mod authors would not, but man, just include them. Just please just include them. Just include them. Okay. Oops. So I'm probably going to change that one. So I'm going to put that in here. Actually, hold on. City sweat condition raise level. So vagrancy, I think, is a crime thing that I'll want to adjust. Not sure actually which mod is causing that. Could be several. I've got some strange visuals showing up on a few of my NPCs, sort of this glowy blue effect. So I want to fix that. And I want to re-enable this. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's going to be kind of my last... Well, alright, we'll try... We'll play with Forgotten City a little bit. Okay. Okay, Forgotten City. Here it is. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the conditions on the startup. This looks promising. Very promising, actually. Startup stage. Yeah, I mean, it could be done through a script. What script? This one? Okay. So I'll probably need to decompile that script. I'm actually going to look for star 010 DCF 83. Okay, this one. So we're going to decompile that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up here, and I'm going to come into here. Let's say this slash this. Output it to our tools folder as we do. What? Ah, there it is. Somehow not seeing it. We're going to get rid of these loose scripts that we don't need anymore. Output here. There it goes. Here it is. Let's have a look. Don't need these anymore. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Distance quest hidden. Force fragment 0. Okay.
So this is just what adds the note to the courier, which is how the quest triggers, which is good. That's good. But we need a condition for that, because there is one. So I want to know where that condition is stored. Script fragments, quest stage, unknown. No, it doesn't look like that's it. Aliases. Int 20. Prereq state. Okay. Int 32.5. I wonder. See the number 5, which kind of gets my attention. Because 5 is the level that we are when we're allowed to start the quest. That's the actual note. That's the player, and the player faction, and the player reference, which are essentially the same thing. I'm not sure why he has that twice. Probably a mistake. That's the courier. Yeah. That's the only spot where I see the number 5, prereq stage. Ah! We have a different script. So I'm not actually editing that, I just want that script name. Grab my quotes. That won't work. No, it should. No input file. Okay. A little confused. Default stage player acquire. 000 SC quest. Okay, here's a possibility. You literally just showed me some. Set stage on player acquire. This one. If game quest quest set inactive. Okay. No. This is gonna. It has to be stage 5 for it to set to 10, so that's not it. And that's not it. So I'm really uncertain overall. let's try something else. So you can get this to load and testify that it's just a bit of a pain. In order to do it, you need to disable everything because you can't load 90% of these things. These are fine because I've already got this set up. So we're going to go into the creation engine now. Creation kit rather. And I've already got these set up to run. You can find guides out there on how to make sure that your ESMs are loading properly in the creation kit. You basically have to go in and set it to load the ESMs and the BSAs that come with each of those. Hello, there it is. So then we just, I don't need these. We just mark each of the ESMs, and then we get our thing, and we say set as active file. Okay. I'm not sure whether this will be any easier or not, actually, but we're going to try it this way. And creation kit can take quite a long time to open. Mine doesn't take too long, especially when I don't have additional masters that it's loading in. Just the base game and the DLC. And then you pretty much always get warnings, which you just say yes to all to. Yep, I know. And that's just the nature of the creation kit that you get those. You could open up just vanilla Skyrim and it would give you errors, or warnings really, not errors. If you're getting errors, that's another deal. You should not be getting actual errors usually, but warnings. Just brush them off and move forward. Should be almost done. Initializing references. And it'll say not responding, but that's just because it's thinking. That's all. It's not actually an issue. There it goes, finally done. As I say, it can take it quite a long time. In this case, it just took it a normal long time. So, let's take a look. This was the quest we were interested in before. Let's take a look at it. Interesting. Yeah, this can take a second to open. Interesting. Very interesting. So it has this script. It has the properties. Look at this one. Here we have some. Start up stage. No stage. Courier tracked me down and give me a letter. Okay. Nothing associated with that one. Nothing associated with that one. Okay. Doesn't have the source, of course. Because I don't even have the source. Just kind of poking around here. I don't really know what I'm doing very much here. I don't really use the creation kit any more than I absolutely have to. Not something that I enjoy doing, really. The scripts I enjoy well enough. Amusing. Okay, I think we're about done. Let's put back on some Skyrim music, though, for our last little bit. Just don't know what the conditions are, or where they're stored. I mean, I know what the condition is, but I don't know where it's stored. It really does have to be around somewhere. Don't suppose it could be in that script. D starts with a T. It's in here. That is the whole thing.
small. Fragment 0. Yeah, I just don't. I think it's gotta be in this. And I think it's in the fragment. And this doesn't have access to that. So I didn't save anything there. I'm gonna I'm just gonna go to testify about it for now because I don't need anything more to be able to do this. Having to do with quest fragment 0. Here. Or script fragment 0. I'm just not sure here how to do this. This is really the only thing. No, there's the prerequisite stage. So that's not it. I mean, that's definitively not it. That whole thing is definitively not it. And this is definitively not it. I'm just not sure how these work. I may have to do some research on this, guys. I don't think it's gonna happen tonight. So I think we're left with what I was talking about earlier. This sort of as my to-do list. I will do the re-enabling the Ultimate Skyrim Windhelm exterior altered, because I just need to rebuild my Dindulod, which takes about 10 minutes. There's no point in doing that on stream. So we'll do that here, and then we're coming up kind of close to the 4-hour mark, so we're probably going to call it here. And close this out. I'll do some research on my own into how that will work out, as far as the conditions, do some more research there. And tomorrow we'll jump back on. Tomorrow's going to be closer to playtesting, I really hope. We're going to have only a few things left, as you can see. And then the other thing on here is I know I have some bugs in my script that I wrote for better spell learning. I've patched better spell learning to this particular install, which is kind of one part of it. But then also I've adjusted better spell learning's scripts to include an MCM, as well as far many more customization options than were originally there. So that's, I mean, it's close to like a whole new mod in that sense. I mean, it's not the original mod author did a ton of work, and I copied his scripts over, and I've done quite a bit of work there. But I've done something wrong with the script that makes me actually learn the spell. So that's a problem. We'll get in game and figure out what's going on there. We're also gonna get in game a bit and see if we can figure out what's going on with the visuals at all, with a little strange blue effect that's happening there. And that's gonna be close to all. I think I'm really getting very close to actually being able to play this game. I'm excited to introduce you to my character. I'm fairly attached at this point to this particular character. I've done some preliminary playing around, some preliminary write-ups, just kind of looking at who this character is. So I'll kind of share that with you. I would be surprised if we get to that tomorrow at this point, just because of how long it took with the scripts today, which I wasn't really expecting. I actually started work on this at 11 o'clock this morning. So that's pretty much been an all-day endeavor for me here, which was not really in my original plans. But these things happen. So that's the plan. We'll be back on tomorrow. I'll probably be doing some research early on, and we'll see exactly the time frame that I'm getting on. I hope to get on earlier than today, and maybe we'll be able to get into game a bit more and actually show you a bit more what my Skyrim's looking like. So, okay, guys, I am off. I know views have been, let's say, low for this, but I thought it was important or useful to kind of show this process a little bit that I went through for these scripts, because I'd already done some of these before. I think it's a very seldom used thing. You hear people talking about test 5 edit patches. You don't really hear people talk or see people talk on forums about script patches, and I think it's because it's intimidating. It is. It's not that easy to make a script patch. You kind of have to know a little bit what you're doing. And you saw, when I was poking around in there, that there were definitely, definitely scripts that I was kind of a little over my head. The marriage mod ones, in particular, a little over my head for the amount of time that I spent on them. But a lot of scripts are super easy too, so I would and decompiling those is really not hard either. So I would just encourage people to, seems okay, to look, to see if there's something there, as far as something that can be patched without an issue. Mod authors telling you that things are incompatible is correct. You're probably never going to find a mod author who says something that's incorrect. But them being incompatible doesn't mean that you can't make them compatible. That's kind of the takeaway that I want you to get from all of this. Really, you can take things that are just fundamentally incompatible, and if you're willing to put in the work, you can make them compatible. It can take a lot of work to do, and it's going to be personalized to just you, usually. You're not going to be able to get that out to everybody. But that's kind of the beauty, I think, of Skyrim, is getting a set of mods that does exactly what you want them to do. So anyway, I wanted to just show off that particular outlook a little bit. I'm going to restore my backup that I just made a second ago of my left panel, and then I'm going to restore my backup of my right pane, and then I'm right back to before I disable everything to load into Creation Kit. All right, I think that's where we're going to call it. I'm going to be hitting the bed here very shortly. do maybe a little research and then go to sleep. So appreciate any of you guys that did tune in. Hope somebody found this interesting or helpful. I'm sure it drags on if you try and watch the whole thing. Anyway, good night, everybody.